yes, the whole video is going to be him doing this, guys. No, we wouldn't do that to you guys. So welcome back to Panel the Panel.
Yeah, and in honor of another big nerd movie coming out. Yeah, it's so freaking weird that first we have Deadpool.
You can tell summer's around.
Yeah.
We're in summer.
Yeah. And, everyone talks about Han Solo and, Lando, and maybe we should do books on that. But everyone seems to forget about the real heart of Star Wars.
Yes.
Everyone forgets about Chewbacca.
The cuddly.
The big cuddly furball that he is.
That could rip your arms off.
Yeah. Pro tip, always let the Wookiee win.
Yes, exactly.
So, yes, this is Star Wars Chewbacca. This is a miniseries by Marvel. This is in continuity, for those who are wondering. This is written by Gerry Duggan and artwork by Phil Noto. I had to refresh my... because I thought it was Phil. I just had to make 100% sure. Gerry Duggan, for those who don't know, he is now big with Guardians of the Galaxy. He's going to be doing Infinity Countdown, but he was best known when he started out was Deadpool. Was the Deadpool comics, and you actually like that run.
That's another tie back right there to Deadpool. Which
and as I recall, you liked that run.
I did. But overall, man, this book is pretty good. I liked it. It was fun. It was crisp. I liked the artwork. Like I had mentioned to you, also the female protagonist in here.
Yeah.
She's not really drawn like this. You get so used to especially in comic books, like the supermodel frame. The big boobs, the big butt, beautiful.
Well, she's supposed to be 13. I don't think.
No, I even if so, we get that still. But looks like a normal person. Like she has her nose is slightly bigger than you would normally see written. So it's pretty cool to kind of get that, and just feel like you're looking at someone that you can relate to, in my opinion.
Yeah. So those who don't know, the story is that Chewbacca has crash landed on this outer rim planet, and he finds him while trying to look for parts. He runs into this girl who is on the run because her dad is trapped in a spice mine by this crime lord who's supplying spice, which is the big drug for the Empire, and manufacturing for them, to use for their troops or whatever, make some money on the side. So Chewbacca is thrown into this. It's kind of like Clint Eastwood movie in a way, or like a Western.
I'm not big on Western, so I wouldn't be happy to pull
it's
reference.
like the well, let me think of it. Like the wandering hero comes in.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
But the thing is that it's Chewbacca, so
you ask yourself, how are they going to do a comic book with Chewbacca when you can't understand what he's saying? The same way we get it all the other times. The people around him and the expressions on his face and his body mannerisms explain the panel that you're reading. They essentially let you know through how they're reacting and the things they're saying. And it's the same thing that goes to say with Groot. It's the exact same thing that you get with Groot, Yeah. So
it's a very the artwork by Phil Noto is very very crisp, very clean, very painted.
Right, yes.
And Chewie, at first Chewie's I don't want to do this, but then he thinks about it, because for those who don't know about Chewie's backstory, is that when he was younger, and by younger I mean only a couple hundred years younger, because Wookiees live a long time. Right. During the Clone Wars, he was captured by slavers who hunted him and tortured him. So he's I'm not gonna let that, I'm not gonna let that slip. And at some points, he's actually getting PTSD from this. It still haunts him.
Which that was actually my favorite thing about the book, that to kind of get an insight into a character who we really don't get any real exposition from for so many years. We don't really know Chewie. We all know Chewie, but we don't really know how he really feels and things inside. So it's kind of cool to kind of see him fight with some inner demons and really care about saving this girl from slavery and saving her father, just basically not wanting anyone to kind of go through what he's been through. So it's kind of cool to see that.
Yeah. And Gerry Duggan does know how to do humor. There's some great humor in here, and he really plays with some of the dialogue. But I think one of my favorite moment in this comic is when Chewie has a gun pointed at him. He's like, you shouldn't have brought, you should have got a gun. And and Chewie's like, oh no, I got something better. He grabs a droid and just beats this guy to death with it.
Right, I thought that was pretty awesome as well. If I'm gonna go something negative, sometimes as great as the artwork is, and yes, Chewbacca is kind of like a humanoid dog. But sometimes I think some of the facials, he looks more like a dog than some of the other ones. But that's me nitpicking. Like sometimes his muzzle is a little darker in some scenes than others. So it kind of gives it this weird like snout look more so than he actually has. But overall the artwork is fantastic though. But again, man, I have nothing bad to say really. It did seem a little more like a little bit of a filler. Like, again,
well, it is like a miniseries in itself.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there's a huge reason for this, other than to get some insight into Chewbacca, I guess, is the best.
There was
way.
no, like, it's not like with the Vader comics where you're really exploring into his head and, you know, or like the Star Wars ongoing where you really get cool big stories. Like, they've been doing a lot of these miniseries when they started. Like, there was Lando, Han, Leia, this. There was even a Mace Windu one. But they kind of, like, slowed down on those, which is interesting to point out. I guess maybe they just wanted to slow down on it. I'm kind of waiting of what else they could do with this. There is, like, again, some good humor, like some fun stuff, like Chewie getting, like, weird battle armor to make him look like a droid. It's funny. And, yeah, everyone, like, when Chewbacca comes... They don't know that... Because this is right after A New Hope, where the Death Star has been destroyed. And people are like... And people don't realize, oh, that dude's from the Rebellion, because... When you think about it, no one saw him. Like, he was on the Millennium Falcon. Like,
right.
No one could see him in the ship. So, I also liked how, in here, Chewie really is, like, he's smart. A lot of people seem to think that he's some big dumb animal.
Right.
But really, he's one of the smarter characters.
Right. No, really, I mean, he's an engineer. He knows how to pilot. I mean, idiots can't do those type of things. And that's just the bare minimum.
Yeah, not only that, like, he knows how to gamble. Like, at the first, when he's looking for parts for his ship that crashed, he's like, he goes to a bar, and instead of getting drunk, he's just like, I know how to play sabacc. So he keeps winning every time, and no one wants to, because it's like, as the saying goes, let the Wookiee win.
Exactly, because the moment he doesn't, he tries to trash the joint anyway, so... no, but man, I would definitely say if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Chewbacca fan, this is probably a good read and something kind of fill in some time and some gaps while maybe waiting for like a bigger story coming along. It gives you some insight again into Chewbacca, which we really, again, as well as we all know Chewbacca, do we really know Chewie? Like, do we know how he feels about things? So this was a kind of a cool way to kind of get an insight to some of the things that he has faced.
Yeah, it really does also play the whole naysayer of, you know, some people saying like, oh, Chewie's just a big animal. I was like, not really, and this comic shows it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely say check it out. If you run by it, definitely pick it up. At the very least, it would be a borrow. But, you know, any Star Wars fan, I think you would do yourself a service by picking this up, personally.
And they do call back to this story a few times, like in canon, like in other novels. And I saw it, like, actually I was in Walmart the other day and I saw this in this same girl in the book in that story as well.
Oh,
like, they call back to it. So this is it's not really like major canon, but it is like if you want to check out and know certain things about Chewbacca's new story.
Right.
There you go. There's a good starting point. Cool.
So yeah, definitely. I'd say again, check it out. Anything else you want to say about it?
If you're a Star Wars fan, it's a buy. But if you're a casual fan, maybe borrow. But not like recommended borrow.
Yeah, it's a recommend borrow for sure. You won't do yourself a disservice by reading it. It's not a waste of time or anything like that for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. And see you once again in the universe.